American car mascots and hood ornaments. Car mascots and hood ornaments are unique art forms of the 20th century. This video provides photos of American mascots and hood ornaments arranged by car brand. It illustrates how mascot subjects and styles changed over time and how mascots evolved into hood ornaments. For brands which were made for decades, there are numerous mascots and hood ornaments available. For automobile brands manufactured for a brief time, there are only limited examples. The car mascots designed and supplied by the auto manufacturers are called factory mascots. Accessory mascots, by contrast, were made by independent foundries and automobile equipment companies and not by the car companies themselves. Accessory mascots could be used on any car. Automobile manufacturers realized they could create marquee uniqueness by designing a car mascot that highlighted and communicated the brand's image. Every car brand with its associated mascot clearly conveyed the owner's preference for luxury versus economy, performance versus style, and uncommon versus popular. Virtually all American mascots and hood ornaments were made of metal. Some of the later ones also incorporated glass or plastic inserts. The earliest and highest quality mascots were manufactured from brass or bronze. The best examples employed the labor-intensive cire-perdue or lost wax method. This produced mascots one at a time, which had extremely fine details. Most later mascots used the die casting process. It's a mass production method which forces molten metal under high pressure into a mold cavity. While the finest die casting mascots used zinc alloys, some early American mascots were made of pot metal, which was obtained from factory metal scraps. Because of the poor quality of the metal, these mascots quickly cracked and deteriorated. Over time, mascot producers learned the best metals to use so that mascots could withstand adverse weather and bad road conditions. In America, a few foundries produced the vast majority of mascots and hood ornaments. Doler Die Casting Company of Toledo, Ohio, was the largest foundry and cast mascots for numerous auto companies. Stant of Connorsville, Indiana, and Jarvis of Grand Rapids, Michigan, were two other major mascot producers. Most General Motors brand mascots were made by Turnstedt Manufacturing Company of Detroit. It became a division of GM in 1945. Each of these foundries had unique casting marks, which, along with car company logos, were stamped under the bases of mascots and hood ornaments. From 1905 until the early 1930s, a significant number of motorists employed a thermometer device mounted on top of the car radiator, which indicated the engine's water temperature. Most early car cooling systems had a low water boiling point, and the engines could overheat and become seriously damaged. The most famous and popular of these temperature devices was the Boyce motometer. By the early 1930s, more than 10 million motometers had been sold. Motometers were no longer needed when auto manufacturers began to include a gauge of the engine's temperature on the car's dashboard. During their heyday, many radiator ornaments consisted of a thermometer device and a mascot. While some mascots were produced as early as 1905, their greatest popularity was in the 1920s and 1930s. Initially, a mascot with or without a motometer was placed on the cap of the car radiator, which was exposed. As the car body design changed, the radiator was put under the car's hood. Nevertheless, it was still fashionable to place a mascot on top of the hood above the hidden radiator. In the 1930s, auto designers began streamlining car bodies. To fit in with the modern look, long sculpted chrome-plated strips were added to car mascots and were called hood ornaments. While this transition took place, the same mascot could serve either as a car mascot or as part of a longer hood ornament. After World War II, cars progressively grew longer and wider. Hood ornaments also grew in size in accordance with the increased car sizes. Like all works of art, mascot designs reflected the time periods in which they were created. In the 1910s through the early 1920s, mascot figures were realistically depicted. These are some of the most carefully crafted mascots ever made. Starting just before World War I, the Art Deco style of visual arts and design first appeared in France. Art Deco is a mixture of many different styles united by the desire to appear modern. It included exotic motifs from Egypt, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Under the influence of Art Deco, mascots became highly stylized in design. Designs featured linearity, sharp, angular forms, pronounced curves, and ultra-smooth surfaces. Major themes used by factory mascots were women or goddesses, nudes and semi-nudes, mythological men and creatures, swift, graceful, or powerful animals, greyhounds, eagles, and lions, wings either alone or with a figure, and abstract, streamlined shapes, including rockets and aerospace vehicles. We owe a debt of gratitude to the talented mascot and hood ornament designers and to the auto company executives who supported and encouraged the creation of these masterworks. Only a handful of American mascot designers are well known. The preeminent American designer was William Schnell, who emigrated from Germany in the 1920s. He first worked at the Turnstedt Company and later at General Motors. Schnell was responsible for creating outstanding mascots for every General Motors brand and for Nash, Pierce Arrow, and other companies. Some of his notable achievements were the Buick and Cadillac Goddesses, the Pontiac Indians, and the Pierce Arrow Archers. A large number of his mascots are illustrated in this video. Another important mascot designer was Avard Fairbanks, who had achieved fame for creating large public sculptures in numerous American cities. Fairbanks made the first Dodge Ram, the Plymouth Mermaids, and the Hudson Griffins. Herbert Henderson headed the Chrysler design department that produced Chrysler's winged mascots, the DeSoto Knights, and the Plymouth Ships. The most prominent American female sculptor was Bonnie Lem. She designed several Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, and Pontiac examples. A few car brands for decades employed the same motif for their mascots and hood ornaments. Major examples are Pontiac's Indian, Packard's Goddess of Speed and Pelican, and Dodge's Ram. By 1970, virtually all car mascots and hood ornaments had disappeared. In their place, many automobiles used a small brand symbol or hood emblem on top of the hood. From their inception in the early 1900s until their demise in the 1960s, car mascots and hood ornaments served a major aesthetic and functional purpose. Their termination came when car mascots were perceived as being safety hazards in collisions, as well as when auto designers streamlined the car body styles. A more recent factor is that car weights were reduced to achieve better gas mileage. This was accomplished by using lighter weight materials such as aluminum and plastic instead of steel, and by eliminating chrome and other ornamentation. The mascot and hood ornament information used in this video relies heavily on research conducted and reported in earlier books. The research into William Williams and his pioneering book, Motoring Mascots of the World, was the most important source. Walt Harris's books provided detailed data on Chrysler, Hudson-Essex, Terraplane, Packard, and Pontiac. Among current mascot writers, Jim Colwill's work is indispensable. Jim has published numerous books covering all aspects of American and international mascots and hood ornaments. He is very knowledgeable and is a veteran collector. The most useful websites for car brand histories and mascot information are Google, Bing, Wikipedia, Wikimedia Commons, Mascot Mania of the UK, and just a carguy.blogspot.com. At the end of this video, there is an index of suggested reading. The best way to appreciate works of art, including Mascots, is by seeing them in person. There are a number of public collections of Mascots in the United States and abroad. Some of the largest U.S. collections are at the Gilmore Car Museum and the Classic Car Museum, both at Hickory Corners, Michigan, and at the Nethercutt Car Collection in San Silmar, California, and excellent collections at Rebs Institute in Naples, Florida. Auburn Cord Duesenberg Automobile Museum in Auburn, Indiana was opened in 1974 in the Auburn Automobile Company's international headquarters and showroom. The building was built by E.L. Cord in 1929 and designed in the high Art Deco style by Alvin M. Strauss. It still has its original Art Deco features, including very tall rooms, windows and pillars, bold geometric pattern floors, lavish ornamentation, and elaborate wall sconces and chandeliers. The museum always has on display 140 vintage, antique, classic, and special interest cars. In addition, beginning in 2022, the museum initiated a series of American car mascots and hood ornament exhibitions. These mascots are from the collection of John Zoller. The rotating exhibitions contain more than 40 different car marks. These include Auburn, Cord, Duesenberg, Cadillac, Packard, Pontiac, and many lesser-known brands. And here are photos of the museum's fantastic Art Deco showroom and the glass cases which display the car mascots and hood ornaments.